Now we'll tell you the origins of these mysteries. Some are real, some are stories. Each one begins as a chilling legend. Each one sparks whispers of hidden creatures. And then at the end, we'll uncover what science has to say, or whether it remains unsolved. Because sometimes the truth is stranger than the myth. So grab a life jacket, hold your breath, and let's dive into the deep. No discussion about mysterious ocean sounds can begin without the bloop. Back in 1997, researchers at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, were running an array of underwater microphones, known as hydrophones. These devices were originally set up during the Cold War to detect Soviet submarines. But once the Cold War ended, scientists began using them to listen to the ocean. And that's when they picked up something strange. A sound unlike anything they had heard before. It was loud, incredibly loud. In fact, the bloop was so powerful that it was detected on multiple hydrophones, placed over 3,000 miles apart. To put that into perspective, if a normal blue whale makes a call, you might hear it a few hundred miles away, under perfect conditions. The bloop was thousands of times louder. The sound itself started with a deep rumble, and then rose quickly in frequency, almost like a massive creature letting out a bellow. When played back at normal speed, it resembled a living voice, a monstrous one. At first, scientists couldn't explain it. It wasn't a known whale, it wasn't seismic activity, and it wasn't man-made. That mystery set imaginations on fire. In pop culture, many connected it to H.P. Lovecraft's fictional god monster, Cthulhu, said to slumber beneath the Pacific. Fans even pointed out that the bloop was detected near a location Lovecraft had described as Cthulhu's resting place, an eerie coincidence. Others speculated it could be a giant undiscovered squid, a titanic prehistoric survivor, or even an artificial sound created by secret military experiments. But here's the truth. Years later, after more data came in, NOAA researchers concluded that the bloop was actually caused by ice quakes, massive icebergs cracking and fracturing in the Southern Ocean near Antarctica. Ice makes sounds underwater when it breaks, shifts, and grinds against itself. And these events can be incredibly loud. The bloop wasn't a monster's roar, but it was the Earth itself groaning. Still, the bloop remains one of the most famous cases of how little we know about the ocean. A sound so massive and mysterious, it was enough to convince the world that maybe, just maybe, something big and alive still lurks out there. Now, technically, SCP-3000 doesn't come from science. It comes from the internet, specifically the SCP Foundation, a collaborative horror project where writers invent strange creatures, objects, and phenomena stored by a fictional organization. But it's worth including because it ties into the real fear behind these mysterious sounds, that there may be something ancient and colossal in the deep. SCP-3000 is described as a massive eel-like creature, stretching hundreds of kilometers in length, dwelling in the Bay of Bengal. According to the fictional files, it's so large that no human has ever seen its full body. It releases a strange psychic effect that causes memory loss and hallucinations in humans nearby. And of course, it makes noises. Terrifying, low, almost inaudible vibrations, like the ocean itself humming with malice. Now obviously, SCP-3000 is not real. It's part of an internet horror mythos. But here's where things get interesting. The creature is inspired by real reports of unexplained sounds underwater, and it shows how quickly our minds leap from data to monsters. When scientists say, "We don't know what the sound is," stories like SCP-3000 are born. In a way, SCP-3000 represents our modern folklore. Just like sailors once invented the Kraken to explain missing ships, we now invent strange entities online to explain sonar recordings. The reality? There is no SCP-3000. But the fact that people believe in it, write about it, and fear it shows just how strong the ocean's mystery is in our imagination. In 2016, something strange began happening in the Canadian Arctic. Locals from Igloolik, a small Inuit community, reported hearing a mysterious sound, described as a pinging or humming noise, coming from the sea floor. Hunters noticed it while traveling across the ice. It was so disturbing that it scared away the animals. Seals, usually common in the area, had vanished. Soon the story spread. The Arctic was humming. The sound was so persistent and strange that Canadian authorities even sent a military submarine to investigate. Imagine that. An entire government deploying a submarine because of a mysterious noise in the ice. At the time, theories ran wild. Some said it was underwater mining equipment, secretly drilling in the Arctic. Others claimed it was sonar experiments by foreign militaries. And of course, whispers spread that it could be coming from something alive, something vast and hidden beneath the ice. After all, the Arctic is one of the least explored regions on Earth. If there were ever a place for sea monsters to hide, that would be it. But here's the twist. After weeks of investigation, the Canadian military found nothing. No mining equipment, no submarines, no unusual seismic activity. The sound simply stopped. To this day, the ping hasn't been officially explained. Some suggest it may have been shifting ice or underwater currents resonating against the seafloor. Others think it could have been caused by marine mammals, since some species create strange clicking or humming calls that might sound mechanical. But officially, it's unsolved, which makes it even creepier. Unlike the bloop, which science eventually explained, the ping still hangs in the air, an Arctic hum that silenced wildlife and spooked an entire community, only to vanish without a trace. Next is a sound that has captured not just scientific curiosity, but also human emotion. The story of the 52 hertz whale. First detected in 1989 by U.S. Navy hydrophones, this sound was unusual for one key reason: its frequency. Most whale species call it frequencies between 15 and 25 hertz, low, deep sounds that can travel vast distances underwater. But this whale sang at 52 hertz, much higher than normal. To human ears, it was almost like a faint, eerie moan. Researchers tracked it for years, and here's the strange part. The 52 hertz call didn't match any known whale species. It was too high-pitched for a blue whale, too low for most fin whales, and unlike other whales, it seemed to be traveling alone, without any companions. This led to the haunting nickname, the loneliest whale. The idea was heartbreaking, that this whale was singing into the ocean year after year, but no other whale could hear or understand it. No family, no mating calls answered. Just an endless cry into the deep. Documentaries, articles, and even songs were inspired by the 52 hertz whale. It became a symbol of human isolation, of calling out and not being heard. But scientifically, what was it? Most experts now believe the 52 hertz whale is simply a malformed or hybrid whale, possibly a bluefin hybrid with an unusual vocal structure. The fact that it has survived and been tracked for decades means it is clearly healthy. And researchers note that even if it sings differently, it could still communicate with other whales in ways we don't fully understand. So maybe it isn't so lonely after all. Still, the legend of the loneliest whale in the world persists, showing how easily we project human feelings onto mysterious ocean sounds. In the 1960s, submariners in the Southern Ocean began recording another strange noise: a rhythmic, duck-like quacking. It came in a pattern, like quack, 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 repeated over and over. The sound was so strange and consistent that it earned the name bioduck. For decades, nobody knew what it was. Some thought it could be machinery. Others wondered if it was geological, like gas bubbles rising from the seafloor. A few even speculated about some unknown creature, maybe a giant squid communicating. The mystery lasted nearly 50 years. Then in 2014, researchers finally solved it. They managed to attach recording devices to Antarctic minke whales, and to their surprise, the whales made the exact bioduck sound. It turned out this mysterious quacking noise was simply part of the minke whale's vocal behavior, likely used in mating or navigation. The reason it was mysterious for so long was because minke whales are small, fast, and elusive compared to other whale species. They're hard to track, and until then, nobody had gotten a good recording from one up close. So the bioduck wasn't a sea monster, but it does show just how much we still don't know about whales, even today.